Achieving great health does not happen overnight. It requires discipline, flexibility, and also a change in the way that you think about long-term health. What's going on? Welcome to Longevity Starts Young. My name is Dez, and my mission here on this channel is to essentially help more and more people achieve long-term health. Over the last 9 or 10 years, I have sustained a healthy lifestyle by doing some of the things that we're going to talk about today in this video. I mainly eat a whole food plant-based diet. I've been whole food plant-based for the last 3 years, and I'm also a certified athletic trainer, so I know just a little bit about what I'm talking about when it comes to health. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So when we're talking about long-term health, we have to change our mindset around how we approach health. When I first got started in trying to be healthy, I had short-term goals. And if we want to have health over a long period of time, we have to completely change the way that we approach health in a sense of what our end goal is. That means short-term goals can't be the main focus of why we are deciding to live a healthy lifestyle. It has to be I just used the word lifestyle, but we have to literally think about it as a lifestyle. Like from here into the day we die, this is now something that we adopt into our identity. And for it to be a lifestyle and for it to be sustainable, we have to create something that works for us, that is gonna work not only when it's easy, but then also it's gonna work on days when it's hard. So let's get into the first phase. So the first thing is, if you wanna have sustainable health, you have to do something that works for you. Everybody's goals in life are different. My health goals are gonna be probably completely different from your health goals. So if you're trying to copy exactly what somebody else does, then it may give you a good base for how to get started. But eventually, when you start moving throughout your life, you're gonna need something that is tailored around how your life looks. So for example, my morning routine may not work for you, especially if you're somebody who wakes up really early in the morning or you're like working overnight. So whatever your routine looks like, it has to be adaptable to your specific lifestyle where you are in your life right now. Also, another example, I used to live in Vietnam. My life over in Vietnam was very, very different than the way I live it right here today. I had much more time to work out as long as I wanted to. I was very active. I would play pickleball sometimes in the daytimes, and sometimes I would go to boxing in the evening, and then I would be walking around on the beach. That lifestyle and that schedule does not fit my current life right now. The key thing is that no matter what situation you're in, you have to be flexible. Sometimes we enter different stages of our life where we enter new environments. And if you don't have that flexibility, that's when things kind of fall apart, right? So you have to be open to being flexible depending on what season that you're in. Now we need to talk about what sustainability looks like versus short-term goals. This is a different mindset shift that you have to kind of put yourself into. I think having short-term goals is actually important when you're looking at long-term health. But there's a difference between getting in shape for a wedding that's coming up or getting in shape for graduation or a honeymoon just to, look good for that specific season and then throwing everything away after the event is done, versus having little short-term goals that is working towards a bigger long-term goal. So for example, in my life, I like to put little challenges in front of me that I can get through. So for example, I have a 30-day challenge that I like to do where I just focus on eating whole food, plant-based foods. I'll make sure I move my body every single day for at least 30 minutes. I'll release some bad habits, and then also I'll focus on like meditation, right? So my short-term goal would be getting through that 30 days, but I don't abandon my health after that 30-day ends, right? I just move on to the next thing that I want to focus on. So when it comes to long-term health, short-term goals have to lead to our long-term goal. We're not just doing like a hit it and quit it type of thing, right? Another thing that I want to touch on too is that we have to have a different mindset shift when it comes to long-term health as well, because we can't expect perfection when it comes to the rest of our life. So what exactly do I mean by that? If you've ever tried to do any type of like health challenge, or you tried to get in the gym, or maybe you are in the gym or whatever it may be, you know that sometimes things will come up and knock you off your routine, and then things just start to fall and crumble. Or maybe you're in a season where things are just really tough at work, right? Or you're working overtime. So I like to think about my health as like an athlete. So if you know about athletes, they have like an off season, they have an in season. There are going to be periods during the years to come where things are locked in. Like you're doing really well, you're on your routine, everything is working perfectly, you're eating the right foods, your environment is absolutely amazing. But then there are gonna be periods where things might not be as up to par as they usually are when it comes to your long-term health. Now, here's the thing. Off seasons are not seasons for us to be just doing whatever we want to do. If you think about an athlete, when they're in the off season, generally, yeah, they do a little bit more things that they don't do during the in season, but you still have to pay attention to your health because you know in season is coming back around. The goal during the off season is to maintain what you built during the in season, right? You don't want to lose all of that progress. Yeah, you might have a little bit more time to maybe go out and maybe get some drinks or whatever that may be. But if you want to maintain your long-term health, you have to be able to say like, hey, when there's an off season, I'm going to still try my best to keep this ship afloat and not let it sink while I'm in this season. When it comes to sustainability and we talk about short-term goals in these short seasons, it's much like a give and take, right? It's like a dance. It's a balance that we're always trying to keep to make sure that we're not going too far off over the edge. And I think for most people who are not like a type A personality, which I'm not myself, I think that this is actually a very realistic approach and a very realistic mindset to make sure that in totality, when we average everything out at the end of the year, that we've made mostly good decisions when it comes to our health. All right, so let's move on to number 3, which is live an active lifestyle as much as possible. For some people like me, I love going to the gym. Absolutely love going to the gym. It's like a breath of fresh air when I'm going through a very tough season. But not everybody likes going to the gym. And you don't have to always live in the gym in order to be healthy. I believe that if you just live an active lifestyle, like going for hikes or playing a sport is a beautiful way to be active. For example, a sport like pickleball. Pickleball is such a low barrier to entry. Anybody can play it. It don't matter if you're 90 years old or you're 9 years old. It's not physically demanding on your body, but it's moving your body, and it's competitive and it's fun. So if you have hobbies that allow you to move your body, it kind of allows you not to really think about being healthy, right? Because you're enjoying the activities that you're doing. So you just get the benefit of improving your health while also enjoying a hobby that you like. And what I've noticed too, for people who play sports recreationally, a lot of the times they might not be into going to the gym, but when they start playing that sport and they start getting really good at it, or they're like seeing ways that they can improve, most of the time I'll see them pulling themselves into the gym, starting to do weightlifting to improve their game and to help reduce some of the injury risk when it comes to playing their sport. It's such a win-win situation. That's why I love boxing. It allows me to get better at something and see the progress. Also, it's fun to just kind of go in and like hit the bag or spar with other people. My wife, she loves playing pickleball, so she's like playing in tournaments here and there. So in order to keep being involved in these sports, we kind of have to keep our body up to par. She does yoga. That's her main way of like strengthening her body and her joints. I like to work out in the gym, so I'm actually building a boxing strength and conditioning program so that I can do for the next 90 days to kind of help improve my boxing. So those are just little ways that you can kind of really, enhance your overall health without really like thinking about it too much and like forcing yourself to be in the gym, because it's not for everybody. So let's go to phase number 4. Phase number 4 is actually something that has really helped me stay on this path, especially in the last, I would say 2.5 years, which is have a fallback day. This is mind blowing for me. Like y'all take some notes right here. A fallback day is a low effort option for you to have on those days when you have no energy. The purpose of this fallback day is to keep the ship floating. Like that is literally it. You're not trying to improve on nothing. You're just trying to not sink the ship. All the progress that you are making, you want to make sure that you don't fall into bad habits and start going well off of the course. I'll give you an example of my fallback day. I have one fallback day. I'll go to the gym. I will sit on the bike, the little, reclining bike, and I'll bring my Kindle with me. I'll bring this Kindle with me and I will just read, and I'll sit on the bike for 45 minutes. I'll prop my Kindle up and I'll just sit there and I'll read. I know that on the days that I have absolutely no energy, I at least have energy to sit on the bike and read this Kindle. So why did I pick that specific exercise as a fallback day? Well, I know that I absolutely love reading my Kindle. I've been looking for different ways to read my Kindle at the gym when I'm doing my cardio. I've tried reading on the treadmill. I don't really like it because I'm like kind of rocking back and forth trying to hold my Kindle. I've tried reading on the Stairmaster. I don't like that for the same reason as well. But reading on the stationary bike has been by far my favorite way to read my Kindle at the gym. It's literally so low effort. I'm just pedaling my legs away. And I'm usually when I read, I want to read for at least about an hour. Instead of taking that time to read at night, I can just bring my Kindle to the gym, hop on a stationary bike, pedal my feet, at a steady pace for about an hour. And I can get my reading done and I can get some exercise done. That's the main thing that I can make myself do on those low energy days. And it has helped so much with just making sure that I'm at least doing something. Some days, that's all we have. You got 5%, use that 5% in the best way that you possibly can. So that's why I think fallback days are super important. So lastly, let's move to phase number 5, which is you have to have a limiter. A limiter is a signal that is telling you that you're drifting too far off course. So for example, if I spent the last 7 days eating crazy, like I said, I mainly eat plant-based. But if I'm eating crazy like Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, and Wendy's, those last 7 days is kind of my limiter. I'll say, yo, I'm doing a little too much. Like I've jumped off the cliff and I need to bring myself back, right? A limiter also could be like your weight. Generally, I know that I live between 170 and 180 pounds. I've kept my body weight within that little window for like the last 9 or 10 years. So if I were to ever get over 180, that'll let me know like, okay, yo, it's time to dial this thing back. Like I've been making a lot of really bad decisions, enough to take my weight outside of my normal weight window. So it's essentially like a ceiling. Like, yo, I can't, when we hit that ceiling, we got to be able to reel ourselves back and regroup and say, hey, I'm not going to let myself get past this point. Sometimes my limiter is not even based on a specific number. Sometimes I can just go in the mirror and see like, okay, I know typically how my body looks when I'm like eating really healthy. If I'm, just seeing a little bit of like fat buildup or things like that, like sometimes visually that can be my limiter where I say, okay, I'm not going to get past this point. Let me kind of dial it back. A limiter is important, but what is just as important as having a limiter is the solution. There are times when I have had a limiter set to say like, okay, I'm not gonna let myself get past this point, but then I don't have anything to kind of reel myself back in to actually bring me back on course. So the solution for me is I just completely stop doing the habits that I'm doing in that moment. I think it's easier to take something away than to add something new onto your daily habits. So what I like to do is I like to cut it off with a fast. Generally, I do a fast that's long enough that allows me to completely get away from the thing that is distracting me from my health goals. And I'll usually end up fasting for about 36 hours. So that means I am eating absolutely zero. All I'm doing is drinking water and electrolytes. And what I've noticed is that when I have that solution for that limiter that I set, it gives me more time to come up with a plan to actually get back on track, right? One of the fastest ways to get yourself out of a flow of bad habits is to literally just cut it off. If you haven't tried that, I would encourage you to try it. Like if you're in a rut right now and you want something to kind of get you back on track, just stop eating for 24 to 48 hours. And then in those 24 to 48 hours, try to be active, try to go for a walk, try to hit the gym, try to do something that your body can handle while you're in like a deep fasted state. Now, I can't guarantee any outcomes, but I bet you will be glad that you tried it at least. All right, so that's pretty much it. There's some other things that we could have talked about today, maybe like how to set up your environment to make sure that it's set up for your success when it comes to long-term health, because your living space has a big impact on how healthy your life is going to be on a daily basis. But I think I'll make a video on that separately in the future. If you have any other tips that maybe you have in your own life, please be sure to just drop it down in the comment section. I'm always looking for different things to help me on my journey. So I'm excited to kind of hear what other people are doing as well. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share this video with anybody who it could help. And then also please subscribe, because we have a lot of stuff on the way. And I'm excited to just share my journey with everybody out there and hopefully relate and create a community around being excited to be healthy. So Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.